Hi friends, today I discuss section 67 of Income Tax Act 2025 capital gains. I am Kurian TC, Chartered Accountant. Subsection 1 is about any profits or gains from transfer of capital asset be chargeable to income tax under the capital gains and deemed to be the income of the tax year in which the transfer took place. That is subsection 1. If a capital asset is transferred and if any profit arises, that will be taxed under the head capital gains. Subsection 2. Irrespective of anything contained in subsection 1, if a person receives money or other asset under insurance from an insurer on account of damage or destruction of any capital asset as a result of circumstances mentioned in subsection 3, then any profit or gain arising from such receipt shall be chargeable to income tax under the head capital gains. Clause B. For the purpose of section 72, the value of money or fair market value of the any other asset on the date of such receipt shall be the full value of consideration. Money received plus value of any asset received. The circumstances mentioned in subsection 2 are natural calamities, riot or civil disturbances, accidental fire or explosion, action by enemy or action taken for combating enemy. The insurer in subsection 2 has same meaning as assigned in section 2 of Insurance Act 1938. That means if any insurance claim is received due to the reasons mentioned in subsection 3 and any profit or gain arises from that insurance, that will be taxed as capital gain. Subsection 5. Irrespective of anything contained in subsection 1, if any profit or gain arises to a person for receipt of any amount, including bonus from a unit-linked insurance policy, where exemption under Schedule 2 is not applicable, then such profits and gains shall be chargeable to income tax under the head capital gains. The income taxable shall be calculated as the manner as may be prescribed. Is any under a unit linked insurance policy, whether maturity value or bonus which is received by the insured person, then that amount, any profit from that amount will be taxed. Subsection 6. Irrespective of anything contained in subsection 1, profits and gains arising on account of conversion of capital asset into stock in trade, that profit, when it is transferred, shall be taxable as capital gain. This clause A says, such profit and gains shall be taxable in the tax year in which stock in trade is sold or otherwise transferred. When the conversion may happen earlier, but tax incidents will arise only when the stock is sold or otherwise transferred. Then the surplus will be taxed as capital gain. For the purpose of section 72, fair market value of the asset on the date of such conversion shall be deemed to be the full value of consideration. For this subsection, if stock is converted into asset is converted into stock in trade, then the consideration shall be the conversion rate as on the date of conversion. That will be the full value of consideration for this section. Subsection 7. If any person had beneficial interest in securities or any profits and gains arising from transfer made by the depository or participant of such beneficial interest, then such gains, profits or gains will be taxable in the hands of beneficial owner, not in the hands of the depository. For the purpose of section 72 and section 2101B, the cost of acquisition and period of holding shall be derived determined on the basis of first in, first out method. Subsection 8. In subsection 7, the beneficial owner, depository and security shall have same meaning respectively assigned to it in section 21A, E and L of the Depositories Act 1996. Subsection 9. If profit or gains arise from transfer of a capital asset by a person to a firm or other association of persons or body of individual, not being a company or cooperative society, in which he becomes a partner or member by way of capital contribution, then such profits and gains shall be chargeable to tax as his income. For the purpose of section 72, the amount recorded in the books of the firm or association or body of individuals as value of capital assets shall be the full value of consideration. In this clause, by the transfer of a capital asset to a firm or association of person or body of individuals, by a person by the reason of this transfer he is already a partner or becomes a partner, then the gain arising may be chargeable to tax under this head. Subsection 10, it says another context in which, irrespective of anything contained in subsection 1, if a specified person receives money or capital asset or both from a specified entity in connection with the reconstitution of that specified entity. Here the situation is entirely different. The person receives money or asset from an entity owing to the reconstitution of that entity. Then clause A says, in this circumstance, any profit or gain arising from such receipt shall be deemed to be the income of such a specified entity. Here, the amounts are received by the person, but the gain is arising to the entity of specified entity and specified such a receipt by specified person and chargeable to income tax under the head capital gains. Here the entity is taxable. Such profits will be calculated as per clause B. One equation is given: A equals B plus C minus D. The equation A equals income chargeable to income tax under the head capital gains of the specified entity. B is the value of money received by the person. C is the fair market value of capital asset received by the person. And D is the amount of balance remained in the capital of the specified person. The difference shall be taxable. For the purpose of clause B, the value of A is, if the value of A is negative, it will be taken as zero, and negative loss will not be allowed. The balance in the capital account of the specified person will not be calculated without considering the value of self-generated assets or self-generated goodwill. That amounts will not have any impact on the value of capital calculated for the specified person. The provisions of this section will operate in addition to provision of section 8, and taxation under section shall be worked out independently. The clause 11, subsection 11. In subsection 10, constitution of the specified entity and the specified person shall have same meanings assigned in section 8. If self-generated goodwill and self-generated asset mean goodwill or asset occurred without incurring any cost. Subsection 12. Irrespective of anything contained in subsection 1, if capital gain arises under compulsory acquisition under any law or a transfer of consideration for which was approved by central government, Reserve Bank of India, enhanced compensation and further enhanced compensation by courts or tribunals or other authority shall be dealt with in the following manner. If in the case of compulsory acquisition of any asset, the compensation received, enhanced compensation received, further enhanced compensation received due to various reasons by the approval of central government, RBI, and other courts shall be dealt as this as per this subsection. The capital gain computed in the compensation in the first instance shall be chargeable to tax under capital gains when it is received. For the enhanced compensation the capital gain will be taxed in the year of receipt. So the same. See, when compensation clause be received in persons of interim order of court, tribunal, or any other authority shall be taxed under capital gain in the year of final order, in the year of final order. That means the compensation and enhanced compensation as per clause B will be taxed when the final order is made. Capital gain assessed for any tax year under clause A or B shall be recomputed, where compensation referred in clause A to C is reduced by any court, tribunal, or authority. If the compensation is reduced after taxing when it is received, that should be recomputed, and such a reduced value shall be taken as the full value of consideration. Subsection 3 in relation to amounts referred to in subsection 12b and c. The cost of acquisition shall be and the cost of improvement shall be nil. That means for enhanced and further enhanced compensation, the cost of acquisition shall be nil. Where the enhanced compensation consideration received by any other person due to death or transfer of the or any such other reason, such amount shall be chargeable to tax under the head capital gain in the hands of such other person. When the consideration and compensation or enhanced compensation is received by any other person due to some reason, it will be taxed in the hands of the other person. Subsection 14 says, irrespective of anything contained in subsection 1, if the capital gain arises to an individual or achieved from transfer of land, building, or both under specified agreement, then such capital gain shall be liable to income tax for the year in which a certificate of completion for the whole project is issued by the competent authority. Then the transfer to the by the individual achiever for an agreement for development, that compensation, that transfer will be considered when the competent authority issues a completion certificate. For the purpose of section 72, stamp duty value on the date of issue such certificate of the share of such person as increased by consideration received by cash, check, draft, or any other mode shall be deemed to be the full value of consideration. The stamp duty value on the date of the completion certificate and the value received by the person in the form of cash or check or draft, any other mode shall be the full value of consideration. Subsection 15 says, competent authority it means authority empowered to approve the plans. Specified agreement means registered agreement in which a person owning land or building or both agrees to or allow other person for the development of a real estate project. And the person of one share gets some share in the project. That is the scenario. Subsection 16. The provision of subsection 14 shall not apply if the person transfers his share in the project before the date of issue of such certificate, that is completion certificate. Then the capital gain shall be deemed to be income of the tax year of such transfer. Provision of this act other than subsection 14 shall apply for determination of full value of consideration. And the the asset is transferred, property is transferred before issue of completion certificate, the provisions of this act shall apply other than subsection 14 if applicable. Subsection 17 says, irrespective of anything contained in subsection 1, the difference between the repurchase price of units referred in section 80 CCB2 of Income Tax Act 1961 and capital value of such units shall be deemed to be the capital gains arising uh, in the tax year in which the repurchase takes place or plan referred in the section is terminated. In the opposite scenario, when the difference between the repurchase price of units in referred in section 80 CCB incurs generates profit, that amount will be taxed. Subsection 18. For subsection 17, capital value such units mean any amount invested in the units above referred. Thank you.